Joseph's brothers go down to Egypt. Jacob found out that there was grain in Egypt. So he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at one another?" He continued, "I have heard that there's grain in Egypt. Go down there, buy some for us. Then we'll live and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to Egypt to buy grain there. But Jacob didn't send Joseph's brother Benjamin with them. He was afraid Benjamin might be harmed. Israel's sons were among the people who went to buy grain. There wasn't enough food in the land of Canaan. Joseph was the governor of the land. He was the one who sold grain to all its people. When Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces in the ground. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them. But he pretended to be a stranger. He spoke to them in a mean way. "Where did you come from?" he asked. "From the land of Canaan," they replied. "We've come to buy food." Joseph recognized his brothers, but they didn't recognize him. Then Joseph remembered his dreams about them. So he said to them, "You are spies. You've come to see the places where our land is guarded very well." "No, sir," they answered. "We've come only to buy food. All of us are sons of one man. We are honest men. We aren't spies." "No," he said to them, "you have come to see the places where our land isn't very well guarded." But then they replied, "We are 12 brothers. All of us are the sons of one man. He lives in the land of Canaan. Our youngest brother is with him now, and our one brother is gone." Joseph said to them, "I still say you are spies. So I'm going to test you, and here's the test. You can be sure that you won't leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. You can be just as sure of this as you are sure that the Pharaoh lives. I give you my word that you won't leave here unless your brother comes. Send one of you back to get your brother. The rest of you will be kept in prison. I'll test your words. Then we'll find out whether you are telling the truth. You can be sure that the Pharaoh lives, and you can be sure that if you aren't telling the truth, we'll know you are spies." So Joseph kept them all under guard for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph spoke to them again. He said, "Do what I say, then you will live, because I have respect for God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison. The rest of you may go and take the grain back to your hungry families. But you must bring your youngest brother to me. That will prove that your words are true. Then you won't die." So they did what he said. They said to one another, "God is surely punishing us because of our brother. We saw how upset he was when he begged us to let him live. But we wouldn't listen. That's why all this trouble has come to us." Reuben replied, "Didn't I tell you not to sin against the boy? But you wouldn't listen. Now we are being paid back for killing him." They didn't realize that Joseph could understand what they were saying. He was using someone else to explain their words to him in the Egyptian language. Joseph turned away from his brothers and began to weep. Then he came back and spoke to them again. He had Simeon taken and tied up right there in front of them. Joseph gave orders to have their bags filled with grain. He had each man's money put back into his sack. He also made sure that they were given enough food for their journey. Then the brothers loaded their grain onto their donkeys and left. When night came, they stopped. one of them opened his sack to get feed for his donkey. He saw the money in the top of his sack. "My money has been given back," he said to his brothers. "Here it is in my sack." They had a sinking feeling in their hearts. They began to tremble. They turned to one another and said, "What has God done to us?" They came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They told him everything that had happened to them. They said, "The man who is the governor of the land spoke to us in a mean way. He treated us as if we were spying on the land. But we said to him, 'We are honest men. We aren't spies. We're 12 brothers, all of us the sons of one father. But now one brother is gone, and our youngest brother is with our father in Canaan.' Then the man who is governor of the land spoke to us. He said, 'Here's how I will know whether you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for your hungry families and go. But bring your youngest brother to me, then I'll know you are honest men and not spies. I'll give your brother back to you, and you will be free to trade in the land.' Then they began emptying their sacks. There in each man's sack was his bag of money. When they and their father saw the money bags, they were scared to death. Their father Jacob said to them, 'You have taken my children away from me. Joseph is gone. Simeon is gone. Now you want to take Benjamin? Everything is going against me.' Then Reuben spoke to his father. He said, 'You can put both of my sons to death if I don't bring Benjamin back to you. Trust me to take care of him. I'll bring him back.' But Jacob said, 'My son will not go down with you. His brother is dead. He is the only one left here with me. Suppose he's harmed on the journey you are taking. Then I would die a sad old man.' Joseph's brothers go down to Egypt again. There still wasn't enough food anywhere in the land. After a while, Jacob's family had eaten all the grain the brothers had bought from Egypt. So their father said to them, 'Go back, buy us a little more food.' But Judah said to him, 'The man gave us a strong warning. He said, "You won't see my face again unless your brother Benjamin is with you. So send our brother along with us. Then we'll go down and buy food for you. If you won't send him, we won't go down. The man said to us, "You won't see my face again unless your brother is with you." Israel asked, "Why did you bring this trouble to me? Why did you tell the man you had another brother?" They replied, "The man questioned us closely about ourselves and our family. He asked us, 'Is your father still living? Do you have another brother?' We just answered his questions. How could we possibly know what he would say? How could we possibly know he would say, 'Bring your brother down here'?" Judah spoke to Israel, his father. "Send the boy along with me," he said. "We'll go right away. Then we and your children will live and not die. I myself promise to keep Benjamin safe. You can blame me if I don't bring him back to you. I'll set him right here in front of you. If I don't, you can put the blame on me for the rest of my life. As it is, we've already waited too long. We could have made the trip to Egypt and back twice by now." Then their father Israel spoke to them. He said, "If that's the way it has to be, then do what I tell you. Put some of the best things from our land in your bags. Take them down to the man as a gift. Take some lotion and a little honey. Take some spices and myrrh. Take pistachio nuts and almonds. Take twice the amount of money with you. You have to give back the money that was put in your sacks. Maybe it was a mistake. Also, take your brother. Go back to the man at once. May the Almighty God cause him to show you mercy. May the man let your brother and Benjamin come back with you. And if I lose my sons, I lose them." So the men took the gifts. They took twice the amount of money. They also took Benjamin. They hurried down to Egypt and went to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he spoke to the manager of his house. "Take these men to my house," he said. "Kill an animal and prepare a meal. I want to eat with them at noon." The manager did what Joseph told him to do. He took the men to Joseph's house. They were frightened when they were taken to Joseph's house. They thought, "We were brought here because of the money that was put back in our sacks the first time. He wants to attack us and overpower us. Then he can hold us as slaves and take our donkeys." So they went to Joseph's house manager. They spoke to him at the entrance. "Please, sir," they said, "we came down here the first time to buy food. We opened our sacks at the place that we had stopped for the night. Each of us found in our sacks the exact amount of money we had paid. So we've brought it back with us. We've also brought more money with us to buy food. We don't know who put the money in our sacks." "It's all right," the manager said. "Don't be afraid. Your God, the God of your father, has given you riches in your sacks. I received your money." Then he brought Simeon out to them. The manager took the men into Joseph's house. He gave them water to wash their feet. He provided feed for their donkeys. The brothers prepared their gifts for Joseph. He was planning to arrive at noon. They had heard that they were going to eat there. When Joseph came home, they gave him the gifts that they had brought into the house. They bowed down low in front of him. He asked them how they were. Then he said, "How is your old father you told me about? Is he still living?" They replied, "Your servant, our father, is alive and well." And they bowed down to show him honor. Joseph looked around. Then he saw his brother Benjamin, his own mother's son. He asked, "Is this your youngest brother? Is he the one that you told me about?" He continued, "May God be gracious to you, my son." It moved him deeply to see his brother, so Joseph hurried out and looked for a place to cry. He went to his own room and cried there. Then he washed his face and came out. He calmed down and said, "Serve the food." They served Joseph by himself. Then they served the brothers by themselves. They also served the Egyptians who ate with Joseph by themselves. Because of their beliefs, Egyptians couldn't eat with Hebrews. The brothers had been given places in front of Joseph. They had been seated in the order of their ages, from the oldest to the youngest. That made them look at each other in great surprise. While they were eating, some food was brought to them from Joseph's table. Benjamin was given 5 times as much as anyone else. So all of Joseph's brothers ate and drank a lot with him. A silver cup in a sack. Joseph told the manager of his house what to do. "Fill the men's sacks with as much food as they can carry," he said. "Put each man's money in his sack. Then put my silver cup in the youngest one's sack. Put it there with the money he paid for his grain." So the manager did what Joseph told him to do. When morning came, the men were sent on their way with their donkeys. They hadn't gone very far from the city when Joseph spoke to his manager. "Go after those men right away," he said. "Catch up with them and say to them, 'My master was good to you. What have you done by paying them back by doing evil? Isn't this the cup my master drinks from? Doesn't he also use it to find things out? You have done an evil thing.'" When the manager caught up to them, he told them what Joseph had said. But they said to him, "Why do you say these things? We would never do anything like that. We've even brought back to you from Canaan the money that we found in our sacks, so why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If you find out that any of us has the cup, he will die, and the rest of us will become your slaves." "All right then," he said, "as you wish. The one found to have the cup will become my slave, but the rest of you will not be blamed." Each of them quickly put his sack down on the ground and opened it. The manager started to search. He began with the oldest and ended with the youngest. The cup was found in Benjamin's sack. When that happened, they were so upset they tore their clothes. Then all of them loaded their donkeys and went back to the city. Joseph was still in the house when Judah and his brothers came in. They threw themselves down on the ground in front of him. Joseph said to them, "What have you done? Don't you know that a man like me has ways to find things out?" "What can we say to you?" Judah replied. "What can we say? How can we prove we haven't done anything wrong? God has shown you that we are guilty. We are now your slaves, all of us, including the one found to have the cup." But Joseph said, "I would never do anything like that. Only the man found to have the cup will become my slave. The rest of you may go back to your father in peace." Then Judah went up to him. He said, "Please, sir, let me speak a word to you. Don't be angry with me, even though you are equal to Pharaoh himself. You asked us, 'Do you have a father or a brother?' We answered, 'We have an old father, a young son who was born to him when he was old. His brother is dead. He's the only one of his mother's sons left, and his father loves him. Then you said to us, bring him down here. I want to see him myself. We said to you, the boy can't leave his father. If he does, his father will die. But you told us, your youngest brother must come down here with you. If he doesn't, you won't see my face again. So we went back to my father. We told him what you said. Then our father said, go back, buy a little more food. But we said, we can't go back down. We'll only go if our youngest brother is with us. We can't even see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Your servant, my father, said to us, you know that my wife had 2 sons by me. One of them went away from me. And I said, he must have been torn to pieces. I haven't seen him since. What if you take this one from me too, and he is harmed? Then you would cause me to die a sad old man. I would go down into the grave full of pain and suffering. So now, what will happen if the boy isn't with us when I go back to my father? His life depends on the boy's life. When he sees that the boy isn't with us, he'll die. Because of us, he'll go down into the grave a sad old man. I promised my father I would keep the boy safe. I said, Father, I'll bring him back to you. If I don't, you can put the blame on me for the rest of my life. Now then, please let me stay here. Let me be your slave in place of the boy. Let the boy return with his brothers. How can I go back to my father if the boy isn't with me? No. No. Don't let me see the pain and suffering that would come to my father.